And welcome to the Marcus and Mike Show, guys. I am Mike. On today's show, Eli Manning is out, Ramsey wants out, and the Browns win. But before we get into anything, let's welcome my man Marcus to the show. Marcus, how are you doing today?
Hey, what's going on, Michael? I can't see you, man. You there? Or is it somebody else?
I am here in the flesh, in the color. I just forget to push
Okay.
the button sometimes, and there we go.
Uh,
We are good to go now.
See, I'm thinking. Look, I'm expecting one day when you push that button, it'll be somebody else. They're using like a tranquility of your voice, and somebody will have like a black thing over you, like a kidnapping situation, and then they're gonna tell me to send a few $100,000 or something. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they will
I
probably
just need
say
I just need to see.
they will probably say that I have to say that Lamar Jackson is the greatest quarterback ever, or like I die
Yeah.
or die or something to that effect.
You you know what? I tell you what. I mean, I don't fear too many things, but you know what? Since we're talking about it, just real quick before we get into sports, just some guys talk about what is one of your worst nightmares. I'll tell you mine. Do you have any worst nightmares?
Yeah,
Like what? Like have you dreamt about something that it couldn't get any worse than that? I
well,
have.
yeah. I mean, like my biggest fear is being stuck under ice and then taking that last breath of yours. Like
Oh,
sometimes I
okay.
have like that weird dream, like you're stuck and you're like, oh, whatever. But I really haven't dreamed too many horrible things as of late.
Okay. My, and these are two of mine. And listen, if you know me really well. Like I don't really fear anybody, dude. I don't. I'll
Right.
fight anybody. I carry my gun. Like I'm completely at peace driving to truck stops and like if I'm taking a piss at a truck stop and the devil's rejects walk in, they're dead.
Right.
Because I've always got my sidearm with me. It's a 40 cal, and the only way you could ever kill me is if you snipe me. Then
Right.
okay, then I'm done. Right. But if you confront me, you're good as dead. So I don't ever worry about things. So when I tell you this is my two weirdest my dreams that I've had. My worst nightmare is just what I just told you. Imagine, a bunch of crazy dudes, and they put, have you ever seen the movie? They put the thing over your head, and
Yeah.
they tie,
Right.
and they're saying Allahu Akbar. Like that's my like, dude. You're about to be beheaded, dude. If you
Right.
think about that, that is crazy. That would be the first. I would be. I guess you have to come to peace with you're about to die. That's one of my worst nightmares, a fear.
Right.
Like I don't even know how I would handle that. Like that would be crazy. My second thing is because I like to swim in the deep ocean. Like I will go in there. I swim. And my family, they're like, hey, dude, that's too far for me, dude. They'll go to their knees, right?
Right.
And I'm in there where I'm going like, I'm in the Gulf of Mexico, dude. I can't feel my feet. I'm a little nuts, but I'm one of my fears is I'm underwater, right? And I open my eyes and there's a great white coming at me.
That would freak me out 100%. Woo.
Okay, so those are my. You just heard my two fears. I think I'd rather be. Nah, I don't even know which one is worse because both of them are painful deaths.
Well, yeah, because if you get eaten by a shark, you're going to probably get like swallowed whole. So you're going to be alive while you're going down, and then
Right? Or if he
yeah,
even bites you in half, that kind of hurts.
right. And
Yeah,
you would still be alive for like a little while too. So you would
yeah.
feel all that pain.
So
So,
yeah,
ugh.
and so those two worst nightmares that I've had, you can see why they're nightmares.
Yeah, I would not want to be ate by a shark. That's for sure. Especially bitten in half by a shark.
Yeah, dude,
The
that's scary.
My biggest fear, just to add to that, is being bitten in half by a shark, and then you swim to shore, and then like half of your body's gone, and you just bleed out. Like that would be my biggest fear.
You know what's
Like
awesome? The
just kill
rulers of
me.
yeah. Do you know what's awesome? The rulers of the ocean are the killer whales, the orcas,
Right.
and you know that they have brains like we do.
I did not know
They're
that.
not like sharks. Yeah, the sharks just swim and eat. They don't give a shit. Orca can actually can surmise that's a human and go right by you.
Really.
There was two little kids in the Gulf of Mexico a few weeks ago, and the mom was scared to death. The orcas were coming at their kids. The orcas looked at the kids and swam right away.
Huh.
Like they don't. They have they have families. You know the orcas have husbands and wives and kids, and they swim together for years.
Right.
I mean, they have like brains. Like it's amazing. The killer whale, and they and oh, and they kill great whites. There was this place in Africa or Port-au-Prince or something like that where where great whites were killing people. The orcas showed up, and there was no more killing of people. The sharks are scared of the orcas. They kill them.
Huh.
So, anyways, that's just a little tidbit, little story before we get into sports.
A little bit of Shark Week when it's not Shark Week from Marcus here,
Yeah.
and that's
Oh
some
yeah.
great knowledge, man. So speaking of some knowledge, last night the Bears did, or sorry, back up. The Browns beat the Jets 23-3 last night. Pretty much a snooze fest as far as the Jets offensively go. They went down another quarterback, Simeon. If you guys saw that hit from Simeon, like I texted
Yeah,
you and I thought his ankle was snapped in half.
yeah,
So I'm not for sure what the verdict of it today is, but he is out. They're down to the third string quarterback, and
yeah.
we'll get into to this like a little bit later with like Eli. But what are your thoughts on this game?
It was kind of what I thought it was, man. The Jets had no firepower. Their defense held up a little bit, but their defense can hold up. Like if you put the Jets defense with the Cowboys offense, they're
Yeah,
going 12-4
exactly.
because they have a guy in the back end. Adams is good at free safety as anybody. They got good players around it, but their defense just can't hold up. They made Baker Mayfield play not a good game. He missed people, and the Jets. But they weren't going to score any points. So it was one of those boring snooze fest, methodical beatdowns.
Yeah,
And yeah, and I just knew even when Simeon was in there, I mean, he's better than Luke Falk, obviously, because the second string beat out the third string. And I like Luke Falk coming out of college. Washington State throws the ball all over the place. I like Gardner Minshew, his replacement at Washington State, excuse me, a little better than Luke Falk. But I thought Luke Falk would always have, a job, clipboard guy, decent backup. Now he was the third string. Now he's the starter. So this is going to be tough for the Jets here, moving forward. And just for these first few weeks, because their schedule is not great or whatever. And hopefully Sam Darnold will get back. But and yeah, I mean, with Myles Garrett, I said he'd have 2 sacks. I was wrong. He had 3.
right.
So he kind of wrecked the game a little bit. The Cleveland Browns are a good football team. It's just that Baker Mayfield, man, like they don't. He reminds me too much of Brett Favre in a bad way.
Right.
He's throwing the ball all over the place, man. He's missing targets, but when he's on, right? But you're gonna a lot of bad comes with the good, man. He's the Manu Ginobili, Brett Favre. But I knew they were gonna win. And look, Le'Veon Bell was the workhorse last night, and they put too much on his plate, man. Let me just tell you something. Did you watch it? If Le'Veon Bell played, if they gave him the ball like that every game, just like we talked about with Christian McCaffrey and Ezekiel Elliott, Le'Veon Bell will have a lot of time to spend with his hose
Right.
because when he's 28 years old, he will be out of the league.
Right.
They'll be giving him rub downs. It hurts here, hurts here, baby, because he will not be playing football anymore. But maybe they won't give him any rub downs because he won't be making any more money.
Right.
Because he will be done. He got beat up last night. Le'Veon Bell did. Got
But
beat up.
But at the same time, when he went to the Jets, he knew exactly what they were going to do. They were going to run him into the ground over and over and over. I think at one point he said he wanted 40 plus touches like a game. Like he would be happy if he got 500 touches. Like
He's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was just all him just kind of saying, "Hey, this is my team." Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But nobody wants to touch the ball 50 plus times a game, especially if you're a tailback, because you're going to get punished over and over and over. And speaking of punishment, 33 Adams from the Jets, he brought the wood last night. I didn't know anything about this guy until tonight, and the way I saw him flying around, putting his head on the ball and hitting people,
Yeah.
I was really impressed. He reminded me a lot of Ed Reed,
Yeah.
just the way he was always ball hawking, always there. Like it seemed like every time you turned, like he was there. So think about how bad the Jets would be like if he's not on their team.
Yeah, no. Adams, number 33. He's a first round pick. He's gonna be. He'll make a few Pro Bowls. Trust me. And you hit it on the head when your eyes were correct. You saw that. And Leonard Williams up front is a big time for the Jets. They lost C.J. Mosley, but the Jets defense is adequate. They can stop some people. It's just there. And then let me say this: if Le'Veon Bell wants that many touches a game, he's crazy. He'll be out of the league pretty soon, like in 4 or 5 years, maybe not even that long. And yes, he knew what he signed up for, but it's not his team. It's Sam Darnold's team. And,
right.
And if Sam Darnold was there, he shouldn't get all those touches because Sam Darnold's got to throw that rock. But now with Luke Falk starting, Le'Veon Bell's going to get eaten alive.
Well, and just to add to your point there, I did not like when they had Le'Veon Bell in that Wildcat look. Toward the
Yeah.
later part of the game, they would put Ty Montgomery there as a
Yeah.
back, so they could do like some like read option thing. But Le'Veon Bell, you can say he's too patient of a runner, I guess. But either way, like I did not like him running the Wildcat whatsoever. If you
A-
want to run the Wildcat, Ty Montgomery is your Wildcat back.
Alabama and Clemson would have stopped that crap.
Yeah,
That's not going to win you NFL football games. When he was back there, and it was Ty Montgomery and him, I knew what was coming. They weren't fooling anybody.
no.
These are NFL football players, man. You're not playing, you're not playing Montana Tech, man. Like, come on, let's be real, man. Yeah,
Even then, I think Montana Tech, if they saw Le'Veon Bell line up as
yeah,
a quarterback, they're going to bring the house. He's not going to throw the
yeah,
ball 15 yards downfield.
right.
Man up on the corners, bring the house, game over. Like, come on.
The only back I could see getting away with that because he is a threat of throwing would be Taysom Hill of the Saints.
Right. Well, wasn't Ty Montgomery a quarterback in college, and then he moved
No,
to wide receiver?
yeah, I think he did some of that. He was Stanford? I think he played with Stanford, and he
Right.
was a receiver. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. And then he got kind of run out of Green Bay because I don't know if you remember, but he decided to run the ball out instead of giving the ball to Aaron Rodgers to win the game, and he fumbled.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then listen, Ty Montgomery's a good back. They have got to figure out a way. I, if I'm the Jets brass and Adam Gase and company, I got to figure out a way to like limit. I want Le'Veon Bell to last, man, and Ty Montgomery needs a little bit more touches. He's a good back.
Well, yeah, you need to get Ty Montgomery in the game or trade him while his stock is still pretty high because you could probably get a second round pick, maybe a third round pick for a player like Ty Montgomery. And you look around the league, there are a couple teams that need some tailbacks. So Miami being one of them, they could definitely use all the help they could get down there in Miami. Uh, so speaking of getting some help, Eli Manning is no longer the starting quarterback for the New York Football Giants. Daniel Jones has officially taken the helm as of about an hour ago here, 11:30 Eastern time. I believe is when the news came out. I know you are not big on playing rookie quarterbacks, but what are your thoughts on this?
I'm not big on playing Eli Manning, who's been an average quarterback throughout his entire career, and his stats suggest so. I don't just make this stuff up, Michael, as we go. I just look. Proof is in the pudding. And Eli has been above average quarterback sometimes in the playoffs, but he's gotten a lot of help. And he's really been terrible in the regular season and an average quarterback. Listen, I am not a believer in rookie quarterbacks. I believe that you learn, from the veteran. But in this case, in the Giants situation, they have really no hope. Eli Manning is terrible, been terrible. I think you have to throw Daniel Jones in and just see what you have and let him go. And I don't even know if it's a great spot for him to be in because
They got pretty tough sledding happening.
yeah, but I mean, he does have Saquon Barkley, which is pretty good, but that's a good starting point. He'll get back Golden Tate in a couple of weeks, I think. So that's going to help him a lot. But just going back to Eli Manning, I don't know why Eli would just go through this the last couple of years in his career. He doesn't have it anymore. He's been horrific, and I don't know if he's never really had it. He's had a couple of good moments. He's 116 wins and 116 losses. He is responsible for 369 touchdowns and 366 turnovers. Now, think about it for a second. Is that average?
That is average.
I'm getting average.
Actually, I would say that's below average because you would want your starting quarterback to be around a 2-to-1 ratio as far as touchdown to interceptions or to turnovers. So
yeah,
I mean, if he's 1-to-1, that's got to be below average. That's
in the last 8 years, Eli Manning has the most losses, 66, the most interceptions, 112, and the most turnovers at 137. So he has been the worst quarterback in the NFL the past 8 years.
That is just not among starters. That's among everybody that has played.
That's among
NFL,
everybody and starters, everybody. So, he is horrific, dude. Like I don't even he. It's just amazing how people tell me he's going to be in the Hall of Fame and all that. And I mean, really what won those 2 Super Bowls was the NASCAR package or Cadillac package, whatever they had.
Right.
And they got after your ass and quarterback. I mean, they got after the opposing team's quarterback. And this guy made a couple of decent throws in the game. He had the talent, but I mean, he got carried. He also got a lot of help on the way, winning those Super Bowls just to get there. Like Kyle Williams of the 49ers muffing 2 punts.
Right.
Patrick Creighton not catching a football. I mean, the list can go on and on about how fortunate Eli Manning has been to get there. But he had a good offensive line, and he had the best defensive line in football both the years they won the Super Bowls.
And they had pretty good defensive help as well.
Yeah.
So just for all those people that say he is a Hall of Fame quarterback, you can say he's might be a Hall of Fame quarterback just because of the 2 Super Bowls, which is complete asinine statement there. But you take away those 2 Super Bowl wins, you have a quarterback that is not even going to make a league or make a team on any other team that wasn't the New York Football Giants. Like those stats do not lie. He is below average, a tier 4 quarterback.
Hello.
That means he's not even a starter. In my eyes. But with all that being said, there could be a market out there for Eli Manning. You have teams like Miami that need a quarterback. You have teams that like the Jets. They need a quarterback. They're down to their 3rd string quarterback now. You could possibly throw out a 6th round pick or a 5th round pick for Eli, and maybe a change of scenery is what he needs. Not so much pressure on his back. I mean, you put Eli Manning on the Jets with Le'Veon Bell and with that pretty good defense that they had, they could get 6-7 wins.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that Eli Manning and Archie Manning, his dad, I don't think they would. They definitely wouldn't go to Miami and get beat up. So he would veto all those trades. The Jets, he knows Sam Darnold's coming back, so he'll just have the clipboard again. So I don't know if he'd even want to do that. Plus, they're 0-2. I mean, you're not really going anywhere. So I don't even think. Yeah, I think he's pretty much done playing football. Like, this is it for him. I don't see him. I don't see him in another uniform. Maybe like if they would have pulled the plug on his ass like they should have about 3 years ago,
right?
Maybe. But this is this is probably it for Eli Manning. I don't see him. I don't see him coming back at all. And you know what? I hope he does because he sucks. Whatever team he goes to, they're not going to do anything. So I mean, he could come back, and I mean, he might if there's a team out there that says, hey, we think you can get us, or we have a really good team. We just need you to make the good throws or something. Get to a Super Bowl. I mean, they might, but I don't see it. I don't see it. I think he's done.
Yeah, I wish he
would play one more game
versus the Cowboys,
just so he could lose to Tampa, and so he'd be 116 wins and 117 losses to be under one game under 500.
Right. So I was just spitballing. I like ideas out there. Maybe kind of spurk somebody's interest, like, oh, that might be a good idea. But I think you are 100% correct. We will not see Eli Manning in any other uniform besides a Giants uniform. We might see him play the last 4 or 5 games of the season because they'll be already checked out of it, and the Giants kind of maybe owe him a farewell tour. Kind of like what the Packers did for Favre. They let him start his last home game, that kind of thing. And that's the only thing I could think of if we ever see him starting again in the NFL.
What's amazing is he was getting booed at his own stadium the other day.
Right. Well,
what's crazy, though? Like, they're not releasing him. So if Daniel Jones, has like a 4-interception half, come in the 3rd quarter, throws another one, Eli could come back in and they would clap like, okay, Daniel Jones sucks. Like, right. Eli, come try to win this game.
I don't see that happening.
That could happen too.
I don't see that happening because I don't think Daniel Jones is a 5-interception type of guy. I mean, the only way I could see him throwing more than 4 interceptions in a game if he's really forcing the ball downfield. And if the Giants are smart, they'll give the ball to Shea Khan and I kind of run a lot of mediocre routes. I'm talking like 7 to 10 yards, 12 yards tops. Kind of keep everything compacted, so they don't get blown out, just so they can maintain the possession of the ball. Right. Speaking of getting blown out, Jacksonville Jaguars, stuff is happening down there. After the game, Jalen Ramsey agent came to Adam Schefter of ESPN, says that he wants out of Jacksonville. Some possible people have come forward to say that they would trade a 1st-round pick for Jalen, Kansas City Chiefs being one of them, and also the New England Patriots. First things first, do you think he is going to leave Jacksonville? And if so, where do you think he is going to end up?
If I'm the general manager of the Jacksonville Jaguars, I would never trade Jalen Ramsey. I would get rid of my coach first.
Right.
This guy just took DeAndre Hopkins for four catches to 40 yards. I haven't seen anybody. There's nobody on fucking planet Earth that can do that. Not not the new Minka Fitzpatrick or not. I don't give a shit. Dion maybe.
Ugh,
Jalen
that's
Ramsey.
tough.
Let me say this again. D Hop. If anybody ever had D Hop and DeAndre Hopkins in fantasy, you're enthralled. You know why? Because you're going to get 110 yards and a touchdown every game. You didn't get any of that on Sunday,
Right.
and that's because number 20 lined up. Number 20 made AJ Green fight him because he couldn't. AJ Green couldn't get away from him.
Right.
So this man is a top-notch corner. He's the best corner that I've seen since Deion Sanders, and that includes Darrelle Revis and all of them. I'd get rid of Doug Marrone before I got rid of Jacksonville, but I wouldn't do either one. I'd call both their ass in my office and I'd fix it. And I say, we got a big game on Thursday. Shut the fuck up, you, and shut the fuck up, you, and go to the practice field.
Right.
And if they win, winning cures a lot of shit. You know that.
Right. Winning cures all.
Winning can mask a lot of things. So they have to beat Tennessee on Thursday. And I'm predicting that, by the way. Jacksonville will beat the Titans on Thursday, and everything will not be in order, but it'll kind of go back to normal a little bit. And I think Jalen Ramsey will be fine. Now, you listen. Why would I if I'm the general manager, why would I give away Jalen Ramsey to anybody for a first-round pick? I spent a 5th overall pick on Jalen Ramsey, and he's the best corner in football. If I'm parting from that, I'm not stupid. I would be insane. They may as well fire me as the GM. You give away the best corner in football, and then when that first-round pick you get, is that going to be a Jalen Ramsey? Like, who's that going to be?
Right.
Like, I don't. Like, unless you guarantee me we're gonna suck and go 2-14 and Jalen Ramsey turns into Justin Herbert. I mean, I don't know if I can project. I mean, that's possible, but there's no way I'm giving away Jalen Ramsey for a first-round pick. I gotta have Doug Marrone and him have to get along, or I'm gonna get rid of Doug Marrone's ass.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, let me tell you something. That's the whole point, Michael. I can find another Doug Marrone, dude. I can't find another best corner since Dion.
You're right.
So think about that. You know what I mean? So they got to fix it, and it starts Thursday night by stopping Marcus Mariota and company. And I think they'll do that. I think Jacksonville wins that game.
Yeah, you are 100% correct. The Jacksonville Jaguars have to keep Ramsey on their team because if they don't have them on their team, that 13-12 game that they played Houston, that's a 34-6 game. I mean, it is a very ugly game.
Absolutely.
You are 100% correct. He is by far the best cornerback in the league, hands down. I think a team like the Kansas City Chiefs, they would have to give me 2 first-round picks, a second-round pick, and a third round pick to even make it worth my while to even consider something just like that. If you are the and if you are the Patriots, I even want more because those are both AFC teams that I'm going to have to face years down the road if I ever want to make it to the playoffs or make it to the Super Bowl. And I'm giving you the best cornerback in the league to shut me down. Like, come on, think about that. That is not wise whatsoever. Also, excuse me. Sorry about that, man. Woo!
It's all right, man.
So,
life.
So also think about this. This is Antonio Brown saga all over again. It is starting to come up front now that people think that doing what Antonio Brown has done that can get you the way you want. Taco Carlton yesterday, he wants out of the cowboy land. He says, "Free me." Okay. Ramsey went about it more of a professional way. He talked through his agent, and then things got released, or how sources happen. Things just happen. So he was definitely more professional about it. But this is starting to be a trend that if you complain enough, if you bitch enough, you will get your way. You will get out of a crappy team, a crappy situation. And I think the Jacksonville Jaguars need to be the ringleader and bite this in the butt and say, you know what? You stay your butt put. You are underneath my contract. We are going to win with you just because mean, like my biggest question is what has happened to the Jacksonville Jaguars? Because what was it? It was just two years ago. They were what a AFC Championship game away to making it to the Super Bowl. Like since then, they have what 5 or 6 wins. Like what has happened there? It has to be
Well,
something
uh,
has to be going with the coaching staff.
okay. Well, I'll tell you what's happened. Quarterback.
Well, correct.
Like that's the main issue, Michael. Why has LSU not competed with Alabama like they should? Do you know that the LSU Tigers get the same blue chip prospects that Alabama does?
Right.
Just about. So how come Alabama whoops their ass? Because LSU doesn't have Trevor Lawrence at quarterback. Put Trevor Lawrence, put Deshaun Watson on LSU. What happens? LSU can beat Alabama.
Right.
They have the athletes to do it. Jacksonville, put Drew Brees on Jacksonville. Guess what happens? They're winning the Super Bowl. They would have beat New England. It's not Blake Bortles. So a quarterback is an absolute monster to get. That's what's going on. That defense is still a beast, man. I mean, I'll be clear. I mean, clear with you. And the quarterback instills confidence in you. The Jacksonville Jaguars have to find a quarterback, and they will be back to being a factor. They're a non-factor without a quarterback.
Are you saying Nick Foles isn't the answer, or do you think his injury in that first week a game just collapsed his team 100%?
Yeah, it doomed them. I think they're going to win Thursday because they do have to rise up and beat Tennessee with Luke Falk. They'll win Thursday, but without Nick Foles, they're going to be 6-10. With Nick Foles, they would have been 8-8 or 9-7. It's just the division they play in,
right?
The schedule and all that. I mean, but yeah, I mean, they're a pretty darn good football team. They just got to find a quarterback. And answer to go back to what you were talking about. Only the superstars will probably be able to do that. I mean, the Taco Charltons of the world, like, give me a break, dude. Like, Dallas just owns his rights, really. I mean, they can just keep him and he can just sit on the couch. He can collect game checks, though, because it's not Taco's fault. They're deactivating him. So Taco Charlton's going to get paid. So it's not like he's saying, oh, I'm not going to show up to the facilities. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but Dallas does own his rights. I think the Jalen Ramsey thing hopefully will get situated. He's a good cornerback. And here's what you were saying. Yeah, Kansas City, I'd want 2 number ones in a second. But then if you think about it, I don't know if I'm Jacksonville, I'd do that because those number ones are going to be the 30th overall pick back to back. I mean, how good is that?
True.
I mean, I guess I could take your 30th overall pick. Matter of fact, I think it's going to be the 32nd overall pick because Kansas City wins the Super Bowl. They're the 30. And then I'll take Jacksonville have the 5th overall pick. I'll give you 32 and 5 to move to 1 or 2 to get Tua, or I guess that's enticing. I'd want Kendall Fuller back so I can have a corner. You're getting Ramsey to replace Kendall Fuller, your best corner. I'll take Kendall Fuller off of you. I'd want Kendall Fuller back to replace Ramsey.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's a deal that could be had there. And let me just say this. I think the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl. You get Jalen Ramsey, I won't watch football anymore.
Yeah.
It'll really be a moot point.
Would that kind of be like the Golden State happening with Kitty signing?
Well, yeah. You know what's funny is I never like to compare the football and basketball aspects of it. There's some comparisons, but that would be pretty damn close. Special. I mean, think about this. You go into a championship game with the Patriots or the Texans, and Jalen Ramsey can shut down DeAndre Hopkins, and then he can also shut down Antonio Brown or Josh Gordon or whoever's on his side. Think about how powerful that. Then Brady doesn't have Gronk, and he only has one side to work with. Think about that for the Chiefs for a second.
Right.
That's a big time deal.
It's a huge deal, especially since the Chiefs defense is still trying to find their way in that mediocrity that they kind of set a standard for this past year. Just like you have said that Jacksonville is going to win on Thursday night. What happens if they don't win Thursday night and they start 0-3? Because I don't think the Ramsey trade is going to happen. Like if it does happen, it is not going to happen before Thursday game. We are 2 days away. That's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen.
So after this Thursday, they have 10 days to possibly work something out. If they go 0-3, does the talk get louder for Ramsey wanting out, and does something have to be done at that point?
Yes. Like I said, winning winning cures a lot of things. If they win, you won't hear anything about it. If they lose, it's on. Like things will start going in motion. And I just hope that he doesn't end up with the Patriots.
Yeah.
Like that would
That
be
that would
horrific.
that would
He got,
uh that would piss me
that would
off
be
because I
horrific.
dislike the Patriots even more.
Yeah, that pissed me off too. So yeah, I mean that would be amazing. I mean, hey, what if he ends up with the Cowboys?
Yeah, well,
That would be unbelievable.
I feel like no matter where he goes, if he goes to a competitive team, I'm talking like the Browns, the Patriots, or the like the Chiefs, the Cowboys, like etc. If he's not your team, you'll be upset with that trade. You're like, oh, they're
You
cheating,
remember the Cowboys passed on him
right?
in the draft. They took Zeke 4, and then Jacksonville took Ramsey 5,
Yeah,
and that was kind of a little bit of debate. I'll be honest with you. I would have, the card. I would have waited. I would have taken Zeke. No, as a matter of fact, if I'd have stayed at 4, I would have taken Zeke. I told you right a few weeks ago what I really would have done with the 4th pick.
yeah.
I would have moved up and got Goff. Jared Goff would be our quarterback, to be honest, and Zeke Elliott would have never heard of him because I was so desperate of a quarterback. Because you can go from 4 to 1. It's hard to go from 12 to 1,
Right.
but 4 to 1 is doable. Okay, but I probably, gun to my head, I would have taken Zeke over Ramsey because I need a guy that's going to score touchdowns. I know Ramsey's a shutdown corner, but I would have been a little gun shy because I was told Morris Claiborne was a shutdown corner.
Right.
And let me just say this: what's
Which
weird on tape?
He's not horrible though.
No, he's not. That's the thing
horrible.
yeah. I saw on film at LSU at Morris Claiborne some stuff that I saw better than Patrick Peterson at LSU. So the fact that Morris Claiborne hasn't made Pro Bowls, that's in between the years.
Yeah.
He's a decent, but he's been a bust if you talk about 5th overall pick. But he is a good corner. Like, in other words, you could put Morris Claiborne on the Patriots and he'd probably be fascinating.
Yeah.
You could put him on the I mean he's a good corner. He just didn't end up being the great corner everybody thought he would. So I would be a little gun shy about that aspect of it. That's why I would have taken Ezekiel Elliott over Jalen Ramsey. But yeah, go back to your first thing. If they're 0-3, the shit hits the fan. And then they're going to have their next game is not that easy. They're going to have to travel to a wounded animal at Mile High Stadium in Denver. That's not going to be easy either. I don't care if Denver's record is 0-3. They will need a win badly at Mile High. And Denver's always had one of the best home records because the altitude since I've been alive. So and if they're 0-4, Jackson, you know what though? Like I said, if I was the GM, stuff might start happening with Ramsey if he decides not to show up and all that stuff. But 0-4, I'm kicking. Doug Marrone is gone. Jalen Ramsey
That's
stays.
exactly what I was going to ask you. Would it be easier to replace Ramsey or to replace Doug?
Doug in a heartbeat. I can find another tall white guy that can coach. I can't find another Jalen Ramsey, the athlete that Jalen Ramsey is. Those guys don't grow on trees.
So who do you think would be a good coach, like a good fit down there in Jacksonville?
Not sure. Haven't thought about it as much. I mean, I even hate to do that to Doug Marrone because he wasn't even given Nick Foles. He was given Nick Foles for a half.
Right.
And then injuries start happening and yeah, it gets bad. So I would hate to do that to him. So basically, I hate to even say this, but the inmates kind of run the asylum there in terms of the players because Jalen Ramsey would force Doug Marrone out, and I'd have to be okay with that because you know why, Michael? I'm in the business of winning football games.
Right.
And Doug Marrone, you go like this, look, Doug Marrone is not better than Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey is better at his job than Doug Marrone is at his job. So that's just the way it is. If Ezekiel Elliott and let me say this, Jason Garrett, I don't like Jason Garrett's game as a game day coach. I don't like him at all. Okay. Right. I don't like Mac Brown as a game day coach. Mac Brown, I like the person Mac Brown, the coach of North Carolina, former coach of Texas, Tulane, all that stuff, right? He blew the game Thursday Night Football, North Carolina against Wake Forest with the time management. I don't know if you got a chance to watch that.
I did. It was horrible.
This is not the first time with Mac Brown. Mac Brown does this all the time. He has cost the University of Texas games. Texas should have played for more national championships and won more national championships than they did. They played for one and they won it in 2005. Should have been playing for like 5. Mac Brown had an opportunity for the University of Texas to become the U, like where they're in it almost every year, and he blew that. Jason Garrett is not a good game day coach at all. But the thing of it is, he has not lost the players. The players, for some reason, love Jason Garrett. So where am I going with this? If Amari Cooper and Dak Prescott and Zeke said they don't like Jason Garrett, and they told Jerry Jones that, guess what? Jerry Jones does exactly what Coach Doug Marrone and Jalen Ramsey. Let's see, fire Jason Garrett or get rid of Dak and Zeke. No thanks, I'll fire Jason Garrett.
Right.
So the inmates do run the asylum. There's no. I hate to use that term, but I couldn't think of anything else.
The players. That's the way it is. That's the truth.
The great players can do this stuff in the NFL. In the NBA, the players run the league. There is no coach better than if Stephen Curry and Draymond Green and Klay Thompson don't want Steve Kerr there. Guess what, Michael? Tomorrow, Steve Kerr isn't there.
Right.
So Jalen Ramsey, I hate to do it. I hate to say it. Jalen Ramsey's such a transcendent talent that if me and you were the owner, we'd have to get rid of Doug Marrone, man.
Well, I am available to coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars, so just tweet at me at mbuck41, and I'll be happy to take that Jacksonville Jaguar job for the intern.
I need to come down there. Hey, I played offensive line and defensive line. I need to come down there and coach with you guys.
There you go. Perfect.
Hey, I'd be the guy yelling off to the side. Yeah. You'd hear me like you'd be like this, and you'd be trying to say something. You'd be like, "Shit, he's yelling again." But hey, that's just the way it is, man. I show kids tough love, though. You know what I mean? Like, you love each and every one of them. You want to know what's going on with their families and all that. But in those 2 or 3 hours of practice, I'm gonna get after your ass for your mistakes. But before and after practice, I'll talk to you like a normal person.
Yep, I'm the same exact way to my players, and I think my players really respect that 100%.
Are you offense coach? Deep. What do you do? What do you? I never even asked you.
I am the defense linebackers.
Oh, okay.
So.
Okay, cool. All right.
Linebacker, you. Woo.
That's pretty cool, man.
So you have already given us your pick for Thursday games. Jacksonville's beating the Titans. What is your final score?
This is a low-scoring defensive affair. We're talking in that 13-10 range, man. Like, Jacksonville's defense will show up. I don't expect Luke Falk to light it up against Tennessee either. Yeah. So this is going to be a Marcus Mariota, like a slugfest. He's not going to be able to get any. Derrick Henry, run left, run right. This is going to be a slug fest. And listen, when the two teams are pretty even, I look at the quarterback. Look, Marcus Mariota is better than Luke Falk. So I am kind of a little crazy for taking Luke Falk over Marcus Mariota. But I look at the more desperate situation, the Thursday night game. You got to take that in consideration. 3 days to prepare.
Yep.
The desperate team is Jacksonville, and they're at home. So Jacksonville in a squeaker. But it wouldn't shock me at all. Like, let's just say it's 13-10, and Marcus Mariota drives and dives over the pylon for the game-winning touchdown. But it'll be a close affair, 13-10. If Marcus Mariota wins, it'll be like 16-13.
Yeah. Usually on Thursday nights, I always go with the home team. However, it's still early in the season, so the wear and tear on the body isn't quite of that hard. Looking at the predictor that they have, the predictor has a 62% chance of the Titans winning this game to a 40% chance of the Jaguars winning this game. With all that being said, I think you are spot on. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars rise up to the occasion and they beat the Titans at home. I was going to go 13-10 as well, but just to be different, I'm going to say it's going to be 10-9.
Okay.
Titans aren't they're not going to find the end zone, but they'll find themselves in the red zone a lot by kicking 3 field goals.
And the reason it's 62-38 or whatever you said, 62 whatever percentage for Tennessee to win is because they have the better quarterback going in.
Right.
If Nick Foles was the starting quarterback for Jacksonville, it'd be a lot more even.
I think if Nick Foles was a quarterback, let me put a disclaimer on that. I think Nick Foles is an average quarterback outside of an Eagles uniform. We said
I do too.
We said it's BF4.
Yeah.
But I think Nick Foles brings some swagger to the team that they need.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think Nick Foles is an average quarterback. He's like like an Eli Manning type, but he'll just kind of hold the ship flow. He's better than Luke Falk.
Yeah. Well, and it's also with these young guys with the Jaguars flashing that Super Bowl ring adds a lot of credibility to you. So you'd be like, hey, you could be totally
Yeah,
wrong, but if you are leading the ship with confidence, people
right.
will like follow you. So Marcus, before we head out, any closing thoughts?
No, man, just Thursday night games gonna be fun to watch. I enjoy these Thursday night games, even though as a fan I enjoy them. As a player, if I was a player, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. I'd want to get rid of them. I don't like that 3 days. My body has not recovered. As fans, it's awesome. We get to
Well,
watch Thursday night football. But players, I wouldn't want them. I'd put in there like if you want to have a night game, I don't care about the high school football. If it has to happen, Friday would be okay for me. In other words, maybe I still wouldn't be okay with Friday, but at least it's Friday's another day of rest. If they want to move it, I'd want to move it to Friday if they're going to do that. But I'd want to. I really don't want them at all. But if we were going to come to some kind of agreement, I'd rather have Friday night football.
and I am on the exact opposite. I strongly dislike the Thursday night games as a fan and or as a player just as
Yeah.
well.
Okay.
Because look at these last year games. These Thursday night games were the least competitive games of all the NFL games. You are basically watching a some college teams play on Thursday nights more or less. You are not
Yeah.
watching professional athletes because they don't have time to put in those intricate game plans like they do on Sundays. So you're going to see a vanilla offense, a vanilla defense, and the home team wins
Yeah.
70% of the time.
I, yeah. I just don't think it's fair from a player standpoint to play Sunday at 3:25. My body beat up, and then you can't even enjoy the win. Like if you win, because basically it's like Thursday practice. You're big. You put your pads on barely, and then you got to go out and play a physical game.
You're right.
I just think that's completely unfair. So I would put if I was a player, I'm strongly on this one. I'd want to disband it as well. And the colleges they play on Thursday, it's not as bad because they play Saturday, so
Right.
it's not as bad. Yeah.
Well, but with all that being said, guys, me and Marcus will be taking a little break for the next 2 days. We'll be back Friday, and we're going to break down more Week 3 NFL talk, along with some college pick'ems as well. So join us
Right.
Friday, same place as always. So we'll see you guys then. Have a good day.